Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where last episode we managed to put our realm back together, but we need to get a bunch of gold. We are currently running an empire without the empire title, and we need 1,000 gold for that. So basically, as long as they're not powerful vassals, we are going to take anybody's gold for ransoming at this point. As long as they're not powerful. So that's going to be a thing. Yep, this is fine. We'll take 10 gold. And another 10 gold. We're up to half of what we need. That's good. And everything so far has been looking like it's conspiring against us. Like the game really, really, really wants to kill us. It'd be very bad if we were to die right now. Things are incredibly fragile, and we want to stay alive long enough for at least most of our tyranny to go down. Remember, we built up our tyranny extremely heavily, so if we go over to, like, this guy, we can see we're at 60 tyranny. That definitely needs to be worked on. However, we're going to be able to extort very soon. We just finished increasing county control in Mecca. Let's head over here next. Cool. So that looks absolutely fine. We need about 370 more gold. We're only making 13 per month, which isn't a lot of gold. Luckily, our taxes in Mecca have come up nicely. We can upgrade our castles, but that is expensive. We have a lot of need for gold right now. Now, where are my loyal subjects? Don't worry. I'll have everyone pay. So that is going to be 10 tyranny. But we're going to take it. We need the gold. That gives us enough to create our empire title. Done. Beautiful. So we now have our empire title here. Now when we succeed, we're going to have some of these kingdom titles handed out, right? Or just this kingdom title, I guess. What would he get? He would get Syria and Yemen. We don't need him to get both. So we may want to start thinking about handing out some kingdom titles here, particularly Egypt. Actually, particularly Syria. It's all the correct faith, but culturally, we do need some culture work. We should probably start working on not converting faith, but rather promoting cultures. Yes, we should be working on this. Let's come down over this way and be working on some of this for the time being. Cool. Allowed crash. I do believe there are people attempting to murder us. That said, now it wouldn't be too bad if we were to die, now that we created the empire title. So that's good. In theory, it would be okay. Oh, we can also hold another domain holding. So we should hold, like, say, this castle up here. That would be fine. We'll revoke that title. There we go. Control up here is low, yes, and we are going to be working on that. Control is also low down here. Control is maxed in this county at this moment. Control here is growing by 0.3 monthly. Sure. This ransom is absolutely acceptable, as is this one. Okay, now that we're an emperor, things should get a lot smoother for us. In theory. We're going to need to be forming a bunch of titles. Yeah, somebody's trying to kill us. Well, we can be watchful for 2 years. Hostile scheme resistance. That'll be good. Who is our current spy master? That's this guy, and he is set to disrupt schemes, but he doesn't like us very much. Mostly due to our tyranny. No one likes us due to our tyranny, to be clear. Now, if we were to die right now, we would lose the sultanates of Yemen and Syria. We don't really want both of those to go to the same location, so I think I'm going to grant out the Emirate of Syria right now. That would go to this guy here. So the Sultanate of Syria would go here. We'll grant that out. And he is now immediately going to be a powerful vassal, right? He's going to be kind of a problem. But also, all of these guys are going to be his problem. at this point. We do need a new chancellor. That'll be this guy. He's not very happy with us, mostly due to the tyranny, but that's okay. Now I'm expecting that if we were to have a succession, this guy would get both Yemen and Egypt. Is that accurate? Yes. So I want to grant out Egypt here. That, of course, goes to Cairo, which would be this guy right here. We would give him the Sultanate of Egypt. He gets a bunch of opinion for that. There we go. And that means we need a new marshal, which will be this guy. Cool. 20 years left on increasing this control. I'm not sure how real that is. Mostly we need to get rid of that lackluster administration, though. That's the big thing there. Okay, so now if we were to have a succession, all we would lose would be Syria, correct? We need to go into realm succession. There we go. Yeah, or rather Yemen. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. This guy gets Yemen. That's fine. I don't care about that. We're on Confederate partition right now. We'll eventually want to change that. But there's only so much we can do about that. Now, we did finish up battlements, and that means that our cash needs to be going into upgrading castles. So, we'll start with our capital, and we'll get that upgraded. Beautiful. Lackluster administration is now gone from Bisha. That's good. That now means this is going to take 5 years instead of 20 years. That's good. Very, very good. Yeah, much better there. So 1.4 monthly. That's going reasonably well. This up over here is at 63, and it definitely needs some work. No doubt about that. This ransom is acceptable. We'll take 10 gold. Cool. So now we're just going to work on getting our castles upgraded. I am not planning on going to war for a while. I'm not planning on building up any additional tyranny. We'll take this guy's 50 gold. But we're going to chill here. We need to be consolidating our control at this moment. And that is exactly what the goal is. We're not going to be able to upgrade a lot of these buildings, to be clear. We'll need to make the Duchy of Mecca, which is 250 gold. That maybe is something that we should do fairly soon here. Yeah, the King of Egypt wants a council position. That's not shocking. So what do we have here for that? He is kind of mediocre at everything. 13 intrigue compared to our 19 here. Yeah, I don't know that we want to replace this guy. He would have higher opinion. Sure. We'll do that for now, just to boost his opinion of us up. This guy wants a council position, but I doubt we're going to do anything about that right now. We should pay the ransom for our brother. No. We're not going to pay the ransom for our brother. That is not happening. Cool. So we're going to make the Duchy of Mecca here as soon as we can. 250 gold on that. So that's going to be 2 month ticks unless we get an event, but now it's only going to be 1 month tick. So we'll get that very, very shortly here. There we go. We're now up to 18.4 month. Hello, pause menu. We're up to 18.4 monthly income. So this is definitely rising up in terms of our income, which is exactly what we expect. We have a stewardship perk available. We'll take golden aplomb is probably slightly better right now. We are close to going up in a stress level. So we could probably manufacture that. A scheme at court? You don't say. Okay, so we're at 14,000 personal strength. Compare that to the Byzantines, they're technically inferior to us. We can also continue to boost up our onagers. They're not maxed out. Ah. Knights. Right. We can't restore accolades because we don't fulfill the requirements. We need to have at least one inactive accolade and no knights who can be appointed to it. Okay, so we need to deal with our knights, specifically our accolades here. We wanted to have We don't want to create an accolade. I want our inactive accolades. We wanted the Silver Hand. And this guy will do. And we wanted to restore, I believe it was the Ferris of the North Star. Yes. I don't want to create an accolade. I want the Ferris of the North Star. Apparently, we cannot get anyone into that. So we'll probably have to restore accolades. So we'll send out that Herald. Looks good. We're, of course, going to need to continue to boost this up. Okay, so our candidate has arrived. Now we're going to hop in here and restore our accolade. I keep trying to do that wrong, but we want to appoint this guy here. Okay, so there's the Silver Hand and the Ferris of the North Star. Beautiful. An unwanted pregnancy. Sure, whatever. Now, our spearmen are at 12 of 10 here. So I believe we need to rank up our knight in order to get that back up to 12, but that should be fine for the moment. We'll increase our size of onagers to 7. He's learned Arabic. That is quite impressive. Okay, cool. So I do want to get this final onager count increase. That's going to be available next month tick, and we'll definitely do that. We can also get another men-at-arms here because of our Empire title. What kind do we want? I'm thinking about ditching our bowmen, replacing them with another unit of Mubarazun, and then going for a second unit of pikemen. So we'd go with like triple Mubarazun, double pikemen, and then double light horsemen. Let's see. We would get one additional from men-at-arms. One additional from standing armies. I believe we already have what we're going to get from our... What am I looking for? From here. From our legacies. Yeah, we've already got private army. We were going to go down law next, which makes sense for that domain limit. So I'm okay with that. This is going to be expensive. We could put in a unit of Retinue Vanguard. They counter Spearmen. And only Spearmen. They're more expensive than Mubarazun. They're slightly tougher. But they don't counter heavy infantry. So I think that's a bit of a plan then. So these guys are currently stationed in Yanbu. They're stationed here. Okay. So we would end up replacing this militia camp, right? And we would replace this with barracks. Indeed. All of this is going to cost money. And a decent amount of it. That said, archer skirmishers. Okay, so if we check here, we have levying grounds. So we would want to eventually replace these farms and fields as well. We would want to have barracks, and we would want to have watchtowers for the heavy infantry buff. In theory. Yes. So this would require a pretty radical change to Yanbu. And that's okay. Let's get rid of our unit of bowmen for right now. Let's move that down, and we're going to immediately start constructing here watchtowers. That's relatively cheap, and we'll need to get that going. I want to hold off on changing our hamlets for as long as possible so that we can utilize this additional tax per month. That'll be very handy. So we'll keep that around. And we're going to be overhauling our men-at-arms for a bit here. We also definitely want to be upgrading our castles. That'll take a little bit of time. No doubt about that. Royal Prerogative is not being focused right now. We went over to Chronicle Writing. Okay, that'll give us de jure Dutch ECBs. I suppose that's okay. Manorialism will be 15 years out. So that's when we're going to get a major economic boon, right? There's no doubt about that one. I would not mind granting this title back to a baron here and revoking from this guy. We have a title revocation reason. He would not accept this. Apparently no one would join him. I'm not sure how much I believe that. What if we were to try to imprison him first? That would be an act of tyranny. But we do have a title revocation reason. Okay, he's definitely going to rebel. It doesn't say he's going to bring men with him, but he probably is, if I had to guess. Just him. Just him. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to go in, we're going to catch him right here. And we stack wipe that easily. We're not going to donate to charity. We're going to stick up here in the in the stress line. So we're going to disband our troops. This is already over. This guy is now imprisoned, and we can revoke his title. Alas, it's time to leave. Okay. We're going to revoke that, and we're going to grant this on out. There we go. We can't upgrade these just yet, but we can start changing over this tower house, and we want to change that to a desert agriculture. So we'll get that going. We're going to need to bump up the control levels here, of course. But that gives us everything that we want to hold here. Plus, we actually have this bonus castle here. We're going to want to hold more than this, but that's fine. Now we're in firm. Like I'm saying, the game really wants this guy to die. No doubt about that. Yes, we'll take 100 gold here. Our keep has been constructed in Medina, so that's absolutely great. That does bump up our station men-at-arms damage. That also gives us a fair amount of additional levies. So that's very, very good. Now we're going to need to get ourselves another unit of Mubarazun here. These are going to be stationed in Yanbu. Now, Yanbu is going to require some time to get set up properly for Mubarazun. If this... Okay, this has spearmen. Heavy infantry spearmen... Station men-at-arms damage. Heavy infantry light cavalry. Okay. Yeah, this is as good as it's going to get for spearmen. If it was Mubarazun, it'd be a little bit different. And can we put anything in here? Let's move on. Can we put anything in here that would bump up for specifically heavy infantry? No. Okay. Just wanted to double check that. So that all looks good for the moment. And of course, we're going to get ourselves another unit of spearmen. Then this is going to be cavalry. Probably of the heavy variety. We're probably going to change this over to heavy cavalry soon enough. And then we're going to get one more unit of onagers. Or, well, siege weapons in general. Would be the idea. So we would create... We could go for retinue pikemen if we didn't want regular pikemen. Retinue pikemen are just better, correct? Correct. Same counters. Same terrain effects. And just better stats. So we would definitely go for this. That is unstationed. And if we were to recruit another one... Yeah, we could do a Retinue Vanguard. I don't think that the Retinue Vanguard is actually that much better than Mubarazun because of Mubarazun countering heavy infantry. So this would need to be stationed somewhere. Sufena? Sufena is doable. So that has spearmen there. This is archers right now. We would probably want to switch over to hill forts, though. Yes. We're going to get that going. And there's our men-at-arms overhauled for now. We don't have access to heavy cavalry yet, In order to get that, we would need arched saddle. So we're not going to change our cavalry, and we're not even going to consider it at this moment. We may or may not change our cavalry later. We'll see how that goes. We definitely take war profiteer here, although that doesn't help us immediately. We're now melancholic. Okay. But we know that a succession here would be absolutely fine. Never mind, we had a second son. This guy needs to be disinherited. I don't like it, but it needs to be done. I really didn't want to do that, but there we go. So at this point, we're 56, we're in poor health, we're probably not going to survive too much longer, right? I'm hopeful that we're able... This man has no face. Where is your face, sir? You have a face here. Your face isn't here. What happens if we refresh it? He still has no face. Okay, that's very exciting. He only doesn't have a face when he's acting in his capacity as a chancellor. Well, that's mildly creepy. Mildly creepy. No doubt about that. I got completely distracted, and I have forgotten what we were working on. Cool. Low control is definitely some problems right now. No doubt about that. We need our marshal here. It's going to be this guy. There we go. We're still working on control down over this direction. Control is going to be a problem for a little bit. Lackluster administration here. That's quite bad, actually. So we have a lackluster administration here as well. We really do need to work our way through this. Wow. Okay, so control is growing here. It's growing here. These two have lackluster administrations, and both need to be worked on. So we're actually growing here passively, so I think that we need to move this guy over to Kabar. We need to at least remove the lackluster administration, and then we need to move over here and do the same thing. Yanbu just finished his mud brick towers. We're going to get that upgraded again so that we can get that heavy infantry buff. That's looking good. Down over here, of course, we're still working on that. Small plantations have been constructed in Tihama, which is down over here. So we're going to get that built. Cool. So that's all looking good for the moment. This guy died. Okay, sure. We lost the inefficient census down over here, but that's not the lackluster administration. We need to be staying here until the lackluster administration is gone. That's what really needs to be removed right now. It's very painful. And there are other things that need to be removed as well, to be clear. We can demand a payment from this guy for 50 gold, and we definitely will. We need all the gold we can get our hands on. We need to upgrade castles, is what our focus really does need to be right now on, in terms of gold expenditures, at least once we have all of these finished up, right? So really it's going to be this construction that's going to be what we need to spend gold on, but beyond that, upgrading castles. So we're keeping an eye on this situation. What is the chance of removing a county corruption? 5% per month? That's not great. The evening's meal is lovely, but perhaps too lovely as we choke it down a little too fast. We almost got stuck there, and we're beginning to ache. That's building up our stress. Okay. We just had a daughter, and our succession is... Oh boy, we had another son. Oh boy, indeed. Well, he's got to be disinherited. I really don't like doing these disinherits. But we need a clean succession next life. Absolutely. Now, where are my loyal subjects? Don't worry. I'll have everyone pay. Yes, that works up our tyranny. We are currently at 64 tyranny. It's rough, no doubt about that. K-Bar can get a castle upgrade if we wanted it to. I think we're going to go down over here since our control is higher. This does not increase control growth. Okay, I just wanted to double check that. So we're going to get that castle going. We can get a couple more underway here. I think we'll go over... This is dropping in control. I think we'll go here, but we're building here. Never mind. K-Bar it is. 100 stewardship lifestyle experience we'll take. I want to double check. Our player heir is 14 right now. He is currently on a diplomacy education. I want him on a stewardship education. And we're going to, not grant titles, we're going to educate him. Maybe not ourselves. This wife would be okay. Okay, so a vassal renounced a faction. Cool. That's looking good. We just want to get as much construction as we can done this life. There's also a dangerous faction brewing up here. We'll need to deal with this, but that's a next episode sort of thing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.